Hi guys, and welcome back to another fly fishing video. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for tuning in, and if you're new to the channel, my name's Lindsay and I make fly fishing and fly tying videos. I've come to the mighty Rutland water to compete in the Army Spring Match. So without further ado, let's get into it. In this two-part video, I want to show you how I approach the water in practice and then formulate a plan of action to fish the match. In this first part of the video, I will be focusing on the practice. So, where do you even start on a venue the size of Rutland? Well, the work begins before you even arrive at the water. Check the weather. If you have an idea of what the weather is going to do, you are able to bring appropriate clothing to deal with the elements. Be wary that it is not only the rain from the sky that gets you wet. If there is a lot of wind, you have to be prepared for a fair amount of the lake making its way into your boat. The other reason to track wind direction is where the food on the water will be blown. Social media. On large venues like Rutland Water, there will be lots of other anglers fishing the venue. Prior to your arrival, get online and glean as much information as you can gather to help give you a start point. Prepare your kit for the trip. The first time you open up the tackle box should not be when you get in the boat to set up for your practice day. Make sure everything is in its place and, where appropriate, serviced. The last thing you need is your equipment letting you down when you have found the fish. So what's the point of practice? Well, primarily what we want to do today is try and locate pods of fish. We're looking for areas geographically on the reservoir as well as where they're sitting in the water column. So starting gambit, it's very windy today. I'm going to start with a DI3 sweep. I'm going to fish a couple of blobs looking for fresh stock fish. Ian, what are you doing today?
I'm going to start with a Cortland Blue intermediate, and I will probably have a couple of blobs on, and hopefully we should be able to fish with the wind behind us a little bit, and I think we're going to head over towards Barnsdale, are we?
Yes, we'll head that way.
Yeah, to a bit of shelter, because it's still a bit choppy out there.
The wind is going to calm down over the next couple of days, so hopefully today we'll just need to survive it, and the match is going to be a lot better than the practice. Fingers crossed. Well, we've been practicing for a while now, and what we've found is we're seeing fish, but they're very close into the bank. It's very difficult to get near them because the bank anglers are lined all the way along Sykes Lane here, all the way down to Whitwell. There's a load of fish in Stocky Bay that we just can't get a shot of. But we've come up to the furthest reaches of Sykes Lane where we can get a little bit of drift in because the trees prevent bankies getting in close, and we're starting to find some success. And Ian's getting them on the buzzer, and he's fishing a camouflux line with colour on the point with a couple of buzzers up. I'm doing something very similar. I'm on a slow sink tip and I'm fishing with a fab on the point, and I'm fishing 2 buzzers up, but I can't get them to take the buzzer. I'm getting all my fish on the fab, and I've just missed one there. Lack of concentration. Now I'm seeing fish in the surface all around us, and that would indicate to me that these are pretty freshly stocked fish. Now I know that, and I've just ripped my flies bad angling there. I didn't hang, and I've just had a big swirl at my flies there as I brought up. Now, we're probably not going to do this drift again. We've located fish, we've identified, oh, there we go. We've identified a way of catching them, and we've now got to go and find other areas. There's obviously quite a lot of fish here. We've got it to ourselves. In fact, I think I've got 2 on here, you know. No, it's just 1. Nope, 2 on. In fact, I might have 3 fish on here. No. Nah, these must be the freshly... Nah, just 2, and I think I had 3 on. One of them snapped me up. What have I got on now? Just 1, I think. Yeah, I think so. I've had 3 fish on my cast there. Unfortunately, both my buzzers are now gone. They've been snapped up on fish. I've managed to net the point fly. Happy enough with that. Now, before we attract too much attention, we're going to pop smoke and go and look elsewhere for another location. Guys, if you're enjoying the videos that I'm making here on YouTube, please take a moment to give this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It's absolutely free and you can unsubscribe at any time. Now, let's jump right back in. But not really, it's freezing in there. Ideally, what I would like to do is identify a minimum of 2 locations close together. 3 is better. There is little point in identifying Hideaway Bay at the top of the south arm and then finding fish at the transformer at the top of the north arm. This is a 45-minute trip which will eat heavily into your allotted 8 hours in the match. Having identified the location, you need to dial in the method. Every day is different, of course, and there might be a bit of working out on the match day, but at least you will have a start point. So, Ian and I are both fairly happy with the Whitwell bank. We've both caught 2 or 3 fish each there, and that's all you need to do. It's very tempting to stay on the fish and catch lots, but you're learning nothing else. Once you've dialed in a method, you've got the location, you need to move and you need to find other locations. Now, the spring match is a 2-day affair, so you've got to have a plan for both days. So we've come up to Dickinson's Bay now, and there's a boat anchored up right in the corner, and there's another boat to our right, nothing to do with the army. Now, I'm told that several army boats were in here earlier in the day. They're catching 1s and 2s, but it's no great shakes. But for your own peace of mind, you've got to check out all the intelligence you receive. So Ian and I have come up, we're on different methods again, trying to find the fish through Dickinson's. Well, that's Ian and I's practice day over. We've worked really hard today in some difficult wind. It's not been very comfortable out there, but it has been a lot of fun. So, have we achieved our aim for today? What we wanted to do at the start was find the location of the fish, where they were in the water column, and the quickest possible way of extracting them. And I think we've achieved that aim. So we started off with a traditional drift into buoy 14 in quite a big swell, and we soon made our way over to where fish have been recently stocked. It was very busy there again. There was bank anglers and there was anchored boats. Very difficult to get in, so we left them be and we went over to Whitwell frontage. And there was quite a bit of space on the bank. We could see fish on the surface, and when we could get into the bank, we would catch them fish. I was fishing a slow tip with a fab on the point, 2 buzzers, and Ian was on a slow glass with a booby on the point and a couple of buzzers up, and we were both steadily getting fish. At one point I managed to catch 3 on one cast, but that didn't last very long. One fish went one way, 2 fish went the other way, and I lost both my buzzers. That said, we'd identified a method that was working as long as we could get in close. Now, if the wind's in the same direction tomorrow and there isn't as many bank anglers there, it could be a possible start point for us. Now, we did our due diligence. We motored up the reservoir to Dickinson's. We had a little bit of fishing in there, covering the bay and the mouth of the bay. Then we moved down into Barnsdale. We fished in Barnsdale for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, but we didn't see any action there at all. So we moved out. There was a boat anchored on Ernie's Point, which was absolutely slaying fish. And as I recall, they were there in the morning when we motored past. I think they'd sat there all day, just pounding the fresh stocked fish. So what we did, we didn't stay around. We went across to the Normanton bank looking for fresh fish. We started at, we call it Shooty and Bush. It's a big bush just up from the church. From the bush all the way to the harbour, we must have boated about 20 fish. It was absolutely lifting with them. And the thing that was very noticeable, you wouldn't get a fish until your flies were 2 or 3 feet off the bank. They really pressed hard onto the bank, and I suspect the winds pushed all the food items hard into the shore, and the fish are just there mopping up. Now, at the weekend it was the airflow competition, and a lot of the guys that fished that told me that they did go off the colour. And this afternoon they were right back on the colour. I couldn't get anything bar orange and pink were the best colours, and they were just taking it right out of your hand. As long as you got your flies within a foot of the bank, you were going to get fish. So it leaves the conundrum really of where to start tomorrow. If the wind stays the same, you run the risk of that bank being covered in bank anglers, and you're not getting close enough in to target those fish. And the other hand, if the wind gets up again, it might be extremely uncomfortable fishing on the Northampton bank. But we'll just need to wait and see what the morning brings. Now, if you're interested in cracking the code the next time you go fishing, check out this video here, and I'll see you all in the morning.